people what is going to change in the National Security Agency's spying programmes following the Edward Snowden revelations about their scope and their scale. The President's going to address the nation later in the week. David Davis, the former Shadow Home Secretary, who takes a big interest in these things, has been in America for the last few days talking to people in the know, and he's here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And do you get a sense of what Obama's going to do?
Well, I think whether Obama decides to cancel some of the big programs or not, they're going to get cancelled. I mean, because while I was there, he had 6 meetings with heads of Congress, with the companies that are involved in this, with the spooks themselves, and his own advisors. And the sum total of it is they're all saying that the metadata program, the program that tracks everybody's phone calls, has got to come to an end.
The spies accept that, do they?
Interestingly, I mean, some of the spies don't want to see an end to it, but they're crippled because they claimed 54 cases have been solved or stopped by this. When the Judiciary Committee looked at it, it turned out to be 1 case. The rest was rubbish. And even that case was just a small money laundering case of $8,500. So the argument is all one way. And it's one of the reasons I went to the States to find out about this, was because the argument in the States is all one way, that they want rid of some of these programs, some of the bigger programs.
And it's the metadata stuff. So it's not listening to individual calls when someone is under suspicion. It's the sucking up of the...
Every single call pretty much in the States.
And that is something, of course, that has also involved the British authorities.
Yeah.
What are you saying we should do now?
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, one of the big drivers in the States is the companies, is Silicon Valley, and some of them already being damaged. Facebook's already being damaged by the reputational effect of this. They think it's going to cost them about $35 billion in lost revenue.
Because people won't use the service.
People won't use their services. Google, Facebook, Yahoo, whatever. That's their estimate, and they're in uproar too, and that's what's driving it. And if they change and we don't, then we've got about 12% of our economy. It depends on this industry too.
What you would need, though, for that to happen and for that figure to be true is for people to care about this so deeply that they stop using the services. Is there really seriously evidence in this country that people do?
This is the extraordinary thing. I mean, one of the things is that in Britain, people seem to be sort of just complacent about it. Now, part of the reason is much less information. The States are much more open about what's happened. Here, it's all incredibly secretive. It's even notable that the only response of our government is to get our secret intelligence and security committee to look at it. In America, this is a matter of public debate day by day, with real information out there and real tests of some of the arguments. So what's interesting about Britain is we are just about the only country in the world, in the Western world, not the rest, but in the Western world, that's not in uproar about it. Germany's in uproar because Merkel was bugged. France is in uproar because of 60 million people having their phones checked, and so on. So that's you're quite right. The sort of political initiative is not here at the moment. The political imperative is not here at the moment, but the commercial imperative certainly will be. Facebook, to take an example, got really cross when the President said, "Oh well, this is just this will not apply to Americans." He said, "Well, 80% of our business is abroad, and they are leaving us." And the same is true for us. Our internet economy is not just a British internet economy; it's a global internet economy. And if we don't do something to match the Americans, we'll be the dirty laundry centre of the world.
Do you think, though, that that will be enough to persuade the British government to go down the road that Obama seems to be about to go down? I mean, did you have any real...
As yet, I don't know. No. I don't know. I couldn't give you a straight answer on that with any solid evidence behind it. But I think what will happen... I mean, it won't just be the internet economy. There's also the other issue. They're undermining or breaking or making easy to break the codes that people use for communication in these systems. That will have an effect on financial markets. Financial markets won't like the idea that communications in the UK are weakly defended, shall we say. And so I think there are lots of areas where this is going to build.
Final one on Pledgate, if I may, because you've been outspoken on that subject in the past.
Get away from that.
Well, we've sort of reached a stage now, haven't we, where there has been a development that some people might say is the end of the matter, and that is that a serving police officer has admitted telling a lie about witnessing this alleged row. There has now been an apology from the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police to Andrew Mitchell. Is that it?
Well, and there are 7 or 8 more discipline cases to come as well, of course, which we will expect an outcome from. Um, in one sense, it's the end of it because I think the public have decided that Andrew Mitchell was stitched up. On the other side, he's still not back in cabinet. He's still. I mean, I think the line will eventually be drawn under it when he goes back into government. I mean, that's the point at the end of the day.
Should that happen soon?
I should say so. I should think it ought to happen as soon as possible, which I think in practice means whenever there's another reshuffle.
And if it weren't to happen, then the thing is left in a kind of bit of a limbo.
I think it would be left in limbo, but I think the people would feel that an injustice had been done and not been corrected. It's the correction of the injustice that's the key.
David Davis, thanks very much.
Thank you.
It is 6